Audiences were entertained for years by Last Man Standing, but the show's producers kept them guessing with plot twists, the mysterious disappearance of important characters, and the rapid recasting of others. There were more surprise causes than you might imagine for these changes, from Kristin's abrupt metamorphosis to Ryan and Mandy's shocking replacements. How did these dramatic changes come to pass? Let's find out the real reasons behind the departure of certain major characters and how it affected the show. American comedy series Last Man Standing first broadcast in 2011. Tim Allen plays the role of Mike Baxter, a father and executive of an outdoor sporting goods shop. The show chronicles Mike's day-to-day struggles as a guy in a home where women predominate, following him as he cares for his wife, 3 children, and eventually his granddaughter. When Mike, a traditionalist with strong conservative ideas, disagrees with his liberal relatives, it usually ends in a funny and realistic situation. In addition to showcasing his profession and the ever-changing retail industry, the show frequently offers humorous commentary on how modern family interactions have evolved. As it explored issues of generational disparities, personal growth, and family, Last Man Standing managed to maintain an even keel between comedy and heart. Tim Allen's portrayal of Mike Baxter was legendary, and his fans adored him for his charming and obstinate character. The show's comedic touches and introspective explorations of family dynamics made it a hit with viewers. The clever banter and Mike's hilariously offbeat take on contemporary topics were major factors in the show's success. There has been a long history of casting changes on Last Man Standing. Despite being nearly cancelled by ABC, the Tim Allen sitcom managed to stay on the air for a full 9 seasons thanks to the intervention of Fox. Despite this, there are a lot of instances where the show had to replace performers playing certain roles for different reasons. Mandy Baxter, Kristin Baxter, and Ryan Vogelson were among the roles that required recasting. Season 1 saw Nick Jonas play Vogel's son, Kristin's son Boyd's father. However, for seasons 2 through 5, Jordan Masterson took up the role. When Amanda Fuller replaced Alexandra Krosny as Kristin Baxter in 2012, it was a major shakeup for the cast of Last Man Standing. Reportedly, creative considerations and the need to accommodate a significant age jump for Kristin and her son Boyd, which happened in the show's 2nd season, led to the decision to recast Krosny. The creative choice was made to reorganize the family dynamic to match the developing plot. ABC stated that the show couldn't go in the route they had in mind without the age jump. Fuller added a new dimension to Kristin's role as an independent woman, contrasting with Krosny's earlier portrayal of a younger, less experienced mother. There were varying opinions among Last Man Standing viewers on Kristin Baxter's casting change. There was some pushback from viewers who had been devoted to Krosny's Kristin portrayal, even though Amanda Fuller was soon fully immersed in the show's world. Fuller spoke about her struggles with the change and the criticism she received in a 2019 interview. "They can be rather cruel, so you have to take everything with a grain of salt and try your best." Speaking about the difficulties of replacing an actress, she reflected on the character she had just played. Fuller pointed out the proliferation of social media as a platform where fans could voice their views openly, frequently voicing their disapproval of the recasting. The actress came up about her experience with cyberbullying, which she and co-star Molly McCook had to deal with. McCook eventually took over Krosny's role and made similar hurtful remarks online. Interestingly, Krosny has more than just Last Man Standing to deal with the pain of having a part ripped from under him. Prior to securing the role of Kristin Baxter, Krosny was cast as Peyton in Rob Thomas's hit series iZombie. But the part was recast before the show even aired, and Ali Michalka took Krosny's place. Going away from Last Man Standing probably felt even more monumental for Krosny because this was yet another case where her part in a big project was eventually recast. Even while it can be tough for the original performers involved, recasting decisions are often necessary for a show's development, as shown with the popular iZombie, which starred Ali Michalka in 56 of its 71 episodes. When Mandy abruptly quit the show, fans were taken aback. Fans of the show Last Man Standing know the Baxter family well, and one of them is Mandy, the stylish daughter of Mike, the show's protagonist. Over the course of the entire series, from the pilot to the series finale, the Baxter daughter plays a pivotal role. Also, she changes a lot as a character from the start to the finish. Fans were astonished to see that Molly McCook, a taller, blonder actress, had replaced Molly Ephraim, a brunette actress, in the opening episode of Last Man Standing's 7th season in 2018. Last Man Standing went against the grain by putting an emphasis on personality rather than physical appearance, which is why there is such a striking contrast between the original characters and their substitutes. The confusion among the crowd was obvious. That many people started venting their frustrations with the broadcast on Twitter is a testament to how bad it got. Recalling a tumultuous point in the sitcom's development may help you understand why Molly Ephraim decided to leave the role of Mandy. It all started in 2017 when ABC decided to discontinue Last Man Standing. Everyone involved with the show, from viewers to writers to actors, thought that season 6 would be the last. Ephraim expressed his sadness in an Instagram post, writing, "Sad the ride is over and already missing my show family. So grateful for the opportunity." A year or so down the road, though, the unimaginable occurred. Reborn, Last Man Standing moved to Fox for more seasons. Ephraim had already begun looking for work on other shows, which was unfortunate. The actress made the decision not to return as Mandy when the resurrection announcement arrived. Series executive producer Matt Berry expressed his regret during an interview given during the Television Critics Association's summer press tour, saying, "We love her deeply. So sad. We couldn't have been ourselves without her." Even though they didn't specifically look for someone who looked like Ephraim, the crew nevertheless decided to recast the part. During her audition, Molly McCook said that she attempted to personalize Mandy. Molly Ephraim was fantastic throughout her time on the show. While speaking to Entertainment Tonight, McCook stated, "I am such an opposite choice. I had a feeling they weren't trying to find a carbon copy of Molly if they were having me try out." Notable actors like Nick Jonas were among the many that left the show. After appearing on Last Man Standing for just one season, Nick Jonas departed from the role of Ryan, who was Mandy Baxter's lover. Many fans were taken aback by his resignation, considering his fame as a pop musician and the hype surrounding his engagement in the show. For reasons that included both his career and his personal life, Jonas decided to leave Last Man Standing. It was more difficult for Nick Jonas to commit to a long-term television job because his career has always revolved around music and the Jonas Brothers. In addition to his time on the show, Jonas had a lot on his plate between music tours and album recording with his brothers. Given the renewed interest in the Jonas Brothers following their 2019 reunion, Nick's decision to put greater emphasis on his music career was understandable. His musical pursuits certainly took precedence. It would have been challenging to keep a consistent part in a TV series that needed filming for months at a time, especially with the band back in the spotlight. Nick Jonas's participation on Last Man Standing was not as big as the original hoopla promised, which was a major factor in his leaving. Originally, he was cast to play Ryan, Mandy Baxter's, Molly McCook, boyfriend, in recurrent roles. Unlike Mike and Vanessa Baxter, Ryan wasn't the show's focal point, even though he was meant to provide some funny moments. Maybe the show's creators and writers saw that Nick wasn't making as much of an impact as they'd planned, so they decided to remove him from the plot so they could devote more attention to other characters and plot points. Furthermore, allegations circulated that Nick Jonas was dissatisfied with both the character's creative direction and his minimal screen time. Even while sitcoms usually only feature a small cast of major characters, performers like Nick who appear in recurrent parts may feel like their character doesn't get enough screen time. Considering his hectic schedule between his music career and other endeavors, this may have played a role in his choice to go. Actors frequently quit assignments when they feel creatively restricted, yet neither Nick Jonas nor the producers made any public remarks addressing his discontent. If the demands of the show are no longer compatible with their personal schedules, fans are wondering what happened to Flynn Morrison when he also left the program. As part of a larger direction change, the producers of Last Man Standing decided to recast the role of Boyd Baxter, which led to Flynn Morrison's departure from the program following season 6. In the beginning of the show, Boyd's interactions with his family, as the young grandson of Tim Allen's Mike Baxter, were characterized by their love and humor. Fans fell in love with Flynn's portrayal of Boyd, who was shown as a charming, cheeky, and sometimes wise beyond his years child. On the other hand, a choice that included his casting change and departure would have far-reaching consequences for the show's future. An ordinary behind-the-scenes decision that happens often in TV series with minor actors is at the heart of Flynn Morrison's departure. When it comes to scheduling and personal development, child actors, particularly those in sitcoms, encounter significant obstacles. It was originally intended for Boyd to be a small child in the original script, but as the series went on, Flynn aged and his looks didn't match the characters. Since the plot of Last Man Standing was constantly developing, the producers and writers probably believed it was necessary to recast the role so that the character's age reflected that. Following ABC's cancellation of the show, Fox picked up Last Man Standing for season 7, and the new season brought a slew of cast changes, both major and minor. A new actor, Jet Juergensmeyer, was cast to play Boyd Baxter for the rest of the series. Changing actors, particularly for a character as crucial to the family dynamic as Boyd, is usual procedure in television, but it could be upsetting for viewers who have been connected to the previous performer. In this instance, the recasting was done to bring the program up to speed and make sure the casting selections matched the development of the plot, particularly because Boyd was supposed to have a bigger role in upcoming episodes. Erika Alexander was another major player that left the show. Season 7 saw the departure of Erika Alexander, who had been a fixture on the show since its inception as Mike and Vanessa Baxter's friend and neighbor Carol, from Last Man Standing. Carol made frequent appearances and brought a smile to the faces of the Baxter family with her eccentric nature and hilarious antics. Her departure was less widely reported than other prominent cast changes, although it was clear that her character would not be returning for any of the show's succeeding seasons. The character's function on Last Man Standing was a major factor in Erika Alexander's decision to leave the show. Carol was portrayed as a witty and helpful neighbor who was always there for the Baxter family, especially Vanessa, with sound counsel and a good sense of humor. On the other hand, as the show went on, Mike and Mandy, who were more pivotal characters, had more screen time than Carol. This may have played a role in Alexander's choice to go from the program because it did not provide enough opportunities for her character to develop or change within the plot. Perhaps Carol was one of those supporting characters whose story arcs are short and whose impact grows as the major characters in the show progress. Also, before joining Last Man Standing, Erika Alexander had a lengthy and fruitful career in show business, so she probably had other options to consider. She had a long list of credits, including a lot of roles in both film and television, and was most famous for her classic performance as living singles Maxine Shaw before taking on the part of Carol. Since Alexander is a versatile and experienced actress, she may have felt that playing Carol was no longer fulfilling her creative needs and that Last Man Standing no longer matched her professional ambitions. Given her desire for more substantial or varied roles that may make better use of her talents, her departure from the program may have been an inevitable decision in this regard. For any kind of television program, but particularly a network comedy, 9 seasons is a very long time. Last Man Standing, starring Tim Allen, was an exception to the rule that sitcoms rarely last. The show focused on the relationships between Tim Allen's character, Mike Baxter, and his family, including his wife, daughters, grandson, and other males. Baxter worked as an executive at an outdoor sports goods business. Jack Burdick created the show, which ran for 9 years on ABC before moving to Fox and ending in 2021. Last Man Standing was originally broadcast on ABC for 6 seasons and went into syndication in the 4th, but the network ultimately opted to terminate the show despite its consistently high ratings. Rumor has it that the network deemed the show too conservative, a claim they later refuted. Providing an explanation for their decision to stop airing most series that were not owned by the network. Fox took a chance and renewed the show for 2 more seasons even though ABC wasn't interested in keeping it going. Troublesome as it was, this procedure necessitated the renegotiation of contracts for a number of actors. On top of that, a good chunk of them had already shifted their focus to other endeavors. Despite the fact that Amanda Fuller, Jonathan Adams, Jordan Masterson, Christopher Sanders, Hector Elizondo, and Nancy Travis all choose to remain with Tim for the Fox remake. Molly Ephraim made the decision to return without Mandy. Consequently, her role was ultimately replaced. To the disappointment of some viewers, Molly McCook has stepped into the job. Tisha Campbell took up for Erika Alexander's Carol Larrabee, a situation that occurred with Erika's beloved recurrent part, according to Deadline. Following the first cancellation of Last Man Standing, she just did not have the time to return to the show. Caitlin Dever, on the other hand, is one of the show's most promising newcomers. She couldn't commit to playing a series regular because she signed on to play the lead in the Netflix miniseries Unbelievable. In contrast to her younger co-stars, Caitlin continued to make appearances in recurring roles all the way up to the series finale in 2021. By enrolling Eve in the Air Force Academy, the creators of Last Man Standing got their wish. Caitlin could come and go according to her schedule. The final episode of the long-running sitcom Last Man Standing concluded with a touching finish. The final episode, Keep the Change, aired in May of 2021, marking the conclusion of the series' 9-season run. All of the connections and characters that had grown over the years found resolution in the show's finale. In the midst of contemplating the show's ideas of generational shifts, personal development, and family. During a pivotal moment in the series finale, Mike contemplates the impact of his familial roles on his life and how his perspectives, although remaining grounded in traditional values, have changed in tandem with his family. Finally, Mike welcomes the changes that have occurred, demonstrating that even though he is the only one left, he has learned to accept and even cherish the world around him as it has changed. Longtime viewers of Last Man Standing were able to find some peace with the show's conclusion. The show's major themes, the importance of family, the value of individual development, and the resilience of interpersonal bonds, were all honored at the event. The show's signature warmth and comedy were there in the finale, even though there was no major cliffhanger or dramatic resolution. While recognizing that changes brought about by time are unavoidable,